guys, and welcome to another episode of AM Sounds. Now today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite guitars. I've had it for just over 6 years, and honestly it's one of my main guitars. No, it's not a Gibson. It is an Epiphone, but it's not just any Epiphone. Of course I'm talking about my beloved ES355, which is a limited edition and it's just an incredible guitar. The main reason why I decided to make a video on this guitar is because I noticed for the past maybe a year or so, they just keep going up in price. So honestly, I wanted to urge you guys to just basically make sure that you find one if you don't have, or if you have one, just make sure you don't sell, because they will definitely keep going up in price. Now there's a few different types of the Epiphone hollow bodies that seem to be quite valuable. One of them, for example, is the Casino range. There's a few different colors, but they seem to be going up in price as well. Then there's the P93 Riviera Epiphone as well. It's sort of like a limited run of guitars, but it kind of depends on the color. Some colors are a little bit more difficult to find, like for example the Black Royale, which I also have one, so I may be making a video on that as well sometime soon. And of course we have the 355, the guitar I'll be talking about today. Now, I've been quite lucky with this guitar because I bought it off a guy here in London, like I said, more than 6 years ago. Back then I got it for about 200 or 220 pounds, I believe. Today, this particular guitar is worth about 600 in a decent condition. And I mean, I've checked on a few different places. They're quite difficult to come by. And if you do find one, then obviously it's quite rare to find in a really good condition and for a good price. I mean, obviously the fact that they are going up in price is only a bonus. This is not the real reason why I am so much in love with this guitar. I love it because it's incredibly versatile. You can play anything from like blues and jazz to heavy metal, really. Of course, just like a Gibson, it is a hollow body guitar essentially. So it just adds that kind of versatility that you cannot get out of many guitars, and for a really decent price. Of course, the looks, it looks amazing and it sounds great for a decent price, because bear in mind that the equivalent guitar as a Gibson would cost about £3,500, £4,000, £5,000, again depending on the year, depending on the condition. It would only go up. Whereas this, being an Epiphone, of course, is a lot more affordable, and it's just great. It's such a good instrument to use on tour and to use even in the studio. This is why it's been one of my main guitars. Now, having that said, I've had a really interesting story basically where I was on tour, and guess what? This guitar fell off the stand literally on stage while I was performing. I was using another guitar and this one just fell off. And oh my god, I freaked out. I actually have some photos here. You can see what the guitar looked like. Fortunately, when I came back to London, things weren't that bad. I went to one of the stores on Tottenham Court Road here in London. And so took it to Andy Gibson, and kindly enough, he managed to put it back together. You can hardly tell that there's been anything at all. Obviously, there was a neck repair right at the joint. I mean, the point where the neck joins the body. But you can hardly see anything, and I'm super pleased with it because obviously the sound, the intonation, and the sustain is still there. So it's still a fantastic instrument. Now, some of the specs would include the 60s profile neck, which is nice and thin, really comfortable to play. It's got a beautiful binding all around the guitar, and that's basically both sides of the body, and it also has the binding around the headstock. It's got the golden Grover tuners to match the rest of the golden hardware. The neck pickup is an Alnico Classic humbucker. The bridge pickup is an Alnico Plus humbucker. Obviously it has the ebony fingerboard, which looks fantastic on any guitar. And of course it has the genuine stock Bixby tremolo. The tremolo, it's something actually I would want to discuss. It is not a fantastic guitar, you know. I mean, what I'm trying to say is not a great choice of a guitar if you're into like proper like exaggerating tremolos and stuff. You know, this is something that needs to be sort of, you have to be really, really gentle with, you know. But having that said, it does stay in tune. It's a little bit sort of tricky maybe the first 2 or 3 days after you've changed the strings, but then once the guitar sort of like gets to grips, you know, with the new strings, then they actually stay in tune and it's quite decent. Alright guys, so that was basically my review of the ES355 Epiphone. Like I said, honestly, it's an incredible instrument and you should definitely add it to your bucket list. Bear in mind though that they are going to become more and more difficult to find. So when you do find, and if you do have the extra cash, 100% buy it, because like I said, it's an incredible instrument and it's a definitely great asset for the future. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what I do, then please like this video, leave a comment. I would love to hear your opinions and maybe some ideas for future videos. As always, press that subscribe button and hopefully see you next time. Keep safe and keep on rocking.